Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Brad Johnson. I want to welcome you all here to the Lariat, and I'm here with special guest VGW Veteran Luke Andrews. Hey, welcome, Luke. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. Hey, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. So let's start with your return. How have things been since returning to VGW? Actually, everything's been pretty good, man. I've enjoyed being back in the ring and working with these new guys and some of the guys from the past and everything. So everything's been good so far. The only thing that I would have to say is that it's different now. It's really different, and we're actually doing like episodes every week that's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on. That's gonna be seen by somebody. So, but I get it. Not everybody's gonna be able to make it to the episode. We're trying to keep the episode short and everything, but it's been fun. It's been fun being included with matches and stuff like that, and being put in. This has been great. All right, I want to also ask, how do you feel about your current status in VGW right now? I mean, a lot of people are saying that you're just being used to put over the new guys. You're being buried. What's your take on that? Well, honestly, I never saw it as being buried or not being appreciated or anything like that. I mean, because this is a business. This is a business that's gonna keep growing. It's gonna keep going, and in the end, people get old. You know, and it's just a business, all right? Because sometimes you gotta just get the next generation ready. That's how I feel like. I feel like I'm doing my part, getting the next generation ready for the business and everything like that. So I don't feel like I'm getting buried or anything. I feel like I'm doing my part. This is kind of what I signed up to do back in 2002. To because Sam Belding, who was in charge of the performance center, he told us from that day that we're not here to be stars. We're here to get the next generation ready. So I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. So I don't feel like I've never felt that I've gotten buried. So I think I'm doing pretty good right now. Okay, well, how do you feel about the GTS roster and when they came in? I mean, what do you think? Do you think they made a positive impact? Do you think they made a negative one? To tell you the truth, as great as GTS was to VGW, got more viewers, more eyes on the product, I feel like it took away from the originals. Um, but then you had to understand it is a business. You gotta This is the kind of the business of trying to give people what they want to see, and GTS is what the people wanted to see. So we kind of saw the steady decline when the GTS guys started to go away, and the originals were more featured. But Status Quo, he's been really great about it. I mean, he still wants to push the originals, and when VGW and GTS mutually decided to part ways, they both felt at that time it was the right thing to do. Status Quo is not really particularly worried about the viewership going down right now. He's really focused on getting his product out there, and his dream and his vision, and that's exactly what's going on. And he's got the help of a few great collaborators to help out whenever they can, whenever things don't go as well as they need to go. But Status Quo has definitely been great about that, and I think GTS was a great move to get the viewership, but in the end it took away from guys like me and Jason Chevrolet and Lewis Ashley and Kid Loco and everything. And by the way, I do want to speak about Kid Loco a little bit, because Kid Loco and I were scheduled to kind of have our own little cruiserweight program. Have our rivalry. So I'm supposed to be this this cocky heel or whatever, and me and Kid Loco were gonna do some like great cruiserweight action between him and I. And we've never really worked together before earlier in VGW. I was really excited about that. So when I heard that he got released, it really kind of I don't know, it kind of discouraged me a little bit. But in the end, I know it's a business, and but Status Quo is pushing for the VGW originals to come back, so I'm not too worried about not being able to do that program. So GTS was great, but I think in VGW it ran its course. I mean, because GTS, they have their own thing, and VGW, we've got our own thing. So I think uh, keeping it separate right now, I think the better move. Do you feel that the VGW originals can make a decent comeback to VGW with this new fan base? Oh, absolutely. I think the VGW originals can make a comeback. I don't see why not, because we laid the foundation and everything. So I think, especially with the inclusion of community creations as well, trying to put more original stars into the company, I think that's a great move, and I think it's possible. I think a compelling storylines and great action. I think it's going to make for a great product. So I don't see why not. So how about you? Any championship goals for the new year? To tell you the truth, I'm just really enjoying the ride right now. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, hey, I'm not opposed to it, but just love going out there and entertaining for the fans and getting to do what I love to do. So if a title comes my way, then I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna take it. But for right now, I'm not really worried about that too much. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. All right. So talk to me about the Hall of Fame. I mean, we got a few um, people being considered for the Hall of Fame, but no announcements made yet. I mean, what about you? Are you considering going into the Hall of Fame anytime soon? None for me, thanks. No, not me. I'm not going in anytime soon. But yeah, I did hear some names. I heard about Pete Baxter and Twisted Metal possibly going into the Hall of Fame. Those are two tremendous guys. I mean, I've had times with them. Pete Baxter actually was a referee in one of my matches when I was in the when I had like a little hiatus back in '05 from VGW, and I was working in like an indie scene or whatever, some small promotion. He was a referee there, and you know, he's actually a pretty cool guy. He's very smart. He knows about the business a lot. He's been on the board of directors for a long time with VGW. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's actually pretty great. And Twisted Metal, he's definitely been like that father figure in the locker room for a lot of guys like myself. And you know, he had a hand in training me. Also trained the Clown and Chaos and the Fallen, and he trained those guys. He also trained his son Tex Hampton, and had a hand in training Sam Campbell, and he trained a lot of us on the roster through the Performance Center. Well, it wasn't called Performance Center back in '02. It just became the Performance Center in 2015. But yeah, that workout gym that we always go to. He was definitely hands-on, and he was definitely, a great trainer, not the most patient. Now, Twisted Metal is not the most patient guy in the world, but at the same time, he's willing to work with you. But sometimes he can get a little antsy. But Twisted Metal, he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's definitely the workhorse out of anybody I've seen in VGW. I mean, he's well into his 50s and he's still wrestling. A lot of people thought he was going to retire, and when he was in his 40s, he had a hurt shoulder or something. But he went on another 10 years. Actually, he went on another 10 years to wrestle. So, yeah, I mean, that just shows you how tough he is. So both Pete Baxter and Twisted Metal, yeah, they definitely deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, well, that's all the time we have for the Lariat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brad Johnson. I've been here with VGW veteran Luke Andrews. And you know what, Luke, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. It's always great seeing you. Oh, man, it's always great seeing you too, man. And, hey, man, maybe we should do this again sometime. Then we can really chop it up, because I know there's things we probably can't say on air. So, hey, whenever, man.